talked about what it takes to retire in today's economy. And that brings me to the aspect of your niche, which is multifamily. How do you establish that kind of financial security with multifamily investing?
Yes. So multifamily compared to other spaces, I believe is one of the best ways to help achieve that early retirement goal. I personally retired in my early 40s, because of multifamily. That was the main reason. I mean, single family kind of was the stepping stone into multifamily, right? I started with single family, but then multifamily is what made it possible for me to retire early. And so I can speak for myself, based on my experience. Multifamily provide you with several things that can help you achieve early retirement. When you talk about, being able to grow the value of your money, as example that I just gave, the property we just sold, that property, we were able to sell it for higher profit because we came in and improved the performance of the property. And remember, with multifamily, it's not just a house, it's a business. So when you're buying it, you're buying a business. When you're selling it, you're selling a business. And whoever is buying it, the price or the value is based on the performance of the business. Like you going to buy a gas station or a dollar store or a car wash, the price you're paying for the car wash is based on the performance of that car wash. Same thing with multifamily. So you can come in and say, for example, you buy a property for, say, today's value is $100,000, right? And then you increase rent. I mean, this year collect $100,000 in rent. You increase the rent, and by the end of next year, you're getting $110,000. That $10,000 is significant increase in the value of the property when you multiply with the cap rate, whatever cap rate for that market is. So if that property was, say, worth $500,000, all of a sudden, just by that $10,000 increase, now it's worth $600,000, which means you can turn around and sell that property for $100,000 more. So multifamily give you that benefit. There's several other businesses out there that does not give you that benefit. The other thing also with multifamily, which, a lot of you can get with other real estate, but is the tax savings, right? So, things like being able to get 1031 exchange, so you keep deferring. So, you make profit, but you don't pay tax on it. And you basically, every time you sell, you just defer it until you die and you don't pay tax on it, which means, if you sell a property and you're $100,000 profit, instead you paying, tax on that, you basically roll that money into the next project, and all of a sudden, now you have more money more equity to buy more bigger property because you didn't have to pay the tax, right? Cash out refinance, an example. Last year, we did a refinance on one of our properties, and investor got about 70% of the money back. That's non-taxable, which means they're still keeping the same profit share on that property, while now all of a sudden, if somebody put $100,000 in that property, right, and they got $70,000 back, they're still making profit on this property, like as if they had before, but all of a sudden they have this opening of $70,000 that they can now turn around and invest on the next property. So all of a sudden they have two properties at the same time that they can basically make money out of. So if you think about it, you can easily start with one property and fast forward 3-4 years later, you have like 10 properties. That's 10 sources of streams of income. So it's very, very easy to achieve with multifamily, achieve several sources of income. And your goal is to not just have one property, right? Your goal is to have several sources of income because, it's like business. Sometimes some might not do well in a given year. Sometimes some might do better. But when you spread your eggs on several baskets, which means you're in good. So you also kind of therefore de-risk, you spread the risk, in other words. There's a big benefit also with multifamily, which in my opinion is not anywhere give a key thought of, but like right now with everything going on in the market, right? People are struggling and this and that, but people still need a roof over their head. It's not like a hotel. Absolutely. It's not like, other things where people can easily cancel if the market goes down. In my opinion, whether the market is good or bad, people will still need a roof over their head. So you have that peace of mind that you don't want to retire and all of a sudden your source of income goes down because everybody all of a sudden decide they don't want to go, shopping, or they don't want to do this. They still gotta pay for their rent. And also remember one thing, Uncle Sam cares a lot about multifamily. As we can see in 20, during the pandemic, right? During the pandemic, Uncle Sam Baker stepped in. I closed a property in February of 2020, and by May of 2020, we're giving profit. And that's perhaps because, we basically had scenario of government stepping in and giving people free credit, free rent vouchers. So with us, we're still able to stay afloat and make profit. It's funny, when back in 2009, there was several government incentive towards real estate. So in other words, with multifamily, whether the economy is good or economy bad, you still stay in, as long as you run the property correct and you don't do anything wrong, you still be able to make good profit and drive towards your early retirement.